Warning, this content may be disturbing to some audiences. Subscribe, if you dare. Everything we do from birth to death has already happened due to causality. Hey everybody, welcome to ANECDOSED. People ask Reddit. What's the scariest theory known to man? Number 1. Commenter. The standard model of physics. Why? Because it might prove that the fabric of the universe could explode at any moment. The discovery/confirmation of the Higgs particle, and the subsequent measurement of its mass, all but proves that the electroweak vacuum of the universe is only metastable, meaning a vacuum instability event could occur. It's like the universe is a ball in a little divot on the side of a hill. A little push and it'll roll down, making a huge mess of things on the way. If such an instability were to occur, a bubble would expand at the speed of light, where the walls of that bubble would be releasing tremendous amounts of energy, destroying everything it comes across. The values of physical constants, like the fine structure constant, would be completely different on the inside of the bubble. The universe as we know it would be destroyed, at the speed of light. Person B. False vacuum. I remember reading about this and shitting my pants. It basically submits the idea that we could be in an unstable portion of the universe. Say, if the universe is a pan of boiling water, our place in the universe could be the bubble at the top threatening to burst at any moment. Person C. That the value for the vacuum energy we have now is not the lowest, a false vacuum. If the universe shifts to a lower energy state, then absolutely everything in the universe would be destroyed. Person D. Let's say recycled rather than destroyed. All human knowledge would be destroyed though, all our thoughts and ideas and theories just gone as if they never had been. It's effing scary. Person E. Another important thing about this theory is that we would be in a local minimum of vacuum energy, meaning that in order for the shift to occur, there would have to be an energy increase through the sudden creation of high-energy particles. Also, once that shift occurs, it could move at the speed of light, meaning no warning. Person F. Our universe may be a false vacuum, which means it has a higher state of energy than a true vacuum. False vacuums give way to true vacuums. If a true vacuum ever nucleated anywhere in the universe, its expansion would decrease its energy even more, thereby increasing its expansion, and so on. Nothing would break its surface tension as it expanded, all would be destroyed. By studying quantum mechanics, we may be able to actually conclude if our universe is a false vacuum or not. Number 2. Kessler Syndrome. Basically the plot is to Sandra Bullock film Gravity. The idea is that space debris can stay in orbit for a long time. We have tons of satellites up there, but they rarely collide, and when they do most of the debris gradually burns up in the atmosphere. But as technology increases and cost to launch satellites decreases, we have more clutter up there. The idea is that if there were a big enough collision in space, it could potentially cascade into more collisions, which would in turn cascade into more collisions, etc., etc. This could effectively make launching satellites, or any manned craft intended for extended stays in space, impossible, sending us into a sort of dark ages again. The cloud of debris could last for centuries or more, and the more satellites we launch, the more likely it is to happen. Yikes. Number 3. Quantum suicide/quantum immortality. The idea that we never really die in our perspective. Every time we encounter a situation where we may die, we continue on in a parallel universe where something happens that prevents our death. But we die in the original universe. In a sense, our consciousness lives on by transferring itself to a parallel universe where we continue to exist. Number 4. Solipsism is kind of scary. Nothing really exists but my mind, so there are no real consequences and I shouldn't care about anyone else. Would mean you could justify horrific acts, just because other people don't exist in your eyes, their suffering is imaginary. Number 5. The theory of hyperdimensional being states that there may be individuals living in 4D, an angle which we cannot comprehend. They can see us and interact with us, but if they don't want to interact with us, then we have no way of knowing that they're really there. Number 6. Commenter. The Great Filter. It's a theory about why the universe seems so filled with potential for life and yet we haven't found it. It states that somewhere between pre-life and an advanced civilization that is capable of colonizing the stars, there's a great filter that stops them and ends life. This means humans fit into one of these 3 scenarios. We're rare, meaning we've already passed the great filter, unlike other civilizations on other planets. We're the first, meaning conditions in the universe are only now life-friendly and we're among many on our way to the capability of colonization. We haven't hit the filter yet, meaning we are F. If this one is true, it means finding life or proof of life on Mars or Europa would be awful news because it would almost certainly mean the filter is still ahead of us instead of behind us. Person B. Why haven't we found any evidence of any other life in the universe outside of Earth? Scientists believe there is a great filter that must be stopping other intelligent life from getting advanced enough to do interstellar space travel/communication. The scary thing is, are humans beyond the filter or is it yet to come? Person C. The Fermi paradox/great filter. The Fermi paradox is, Eli 5, based on the question, if the universe is infinitely large, and there's a non-zero chance of an intelligent, spacefaring species developing, where is everybody? The answer is the great filter, which is also the scary part. It's a theory that every species that develops intelligence faces a great test that the vast majority of them do not pass. We don't know what the test is, but one of the more obvious possible tests is, can we develop nuclear weapons without using them to force our own extinction? Number 7. That everything we do from birth to death had already happened due to causality. Your whole existence is already predetermined due to everything that has taken place before you and will happen after you. That defies everything we believe about free will. Number 8. That aliens have been trying to contact us for hundreds of years, starting maybe 1,000 years ago, but we never had the technology to send anything back or even notice that anybody was trying to contact us. It just isn't feasible to actually travel to our planet, so they only sent various signals through electromagnetic waves which, as you probably know, travel at the speed of light. Then, in the 19th century or so, they gave up. We didn't respond for hundreds or maybe even thousands of years. They gave up and said, oh well, looks like there is no intelligent life there anyway, and never contacted us again. Just a few years later, we discovered radio communication, but it was too late at that point. Number 9. When you go to bed, your consciousness is interrupted. When you wake up, it is not the same stream of thoughts that went to bed. It is a new entity, with all the experiences, quirks, anatomy and brain chemistry of the previous occupant. Much in the same way that if you were disassembled, atom by atom, then put together, and awoken, it wouldn't really be you. Consciousness is a feature of nature, much like gravity. Certain constellations of matter give rise to it in varying forms. All consciousness is the same, as all gravity is the same. Every person is an expression of this feature of reality, where the physical features of the body shape the differences of personality. However, sleep is like death, only that another person of sorts wakes up the next day. Every day, every person faces an inevitable end at the hand of sleep, and so does every consciousness you've ever known. For some of you, it should be around bedtime now. Number 10. It's thought by experts in the field of AI that when artificial superintelligence, significantly more than human intelligence, is achieved, with an average estimated date of around 2060, the result is likely to be either permanent immortality or permanent extinction for humans. Number 11. The Big Crunch, basically, the Big Bang in reverse. The universe is still expanding, but what if it stops at some point and bounces back? The universe starts contracting at an ever-increasing rate, until it collapses into a singular point, which then explodes into another Big Bang, and the universe is completely different. Number 12. That life has no meaning and that after death there is nothing. There are ancient, massive, multinational organizations dedicated to coming up with alternatives to this theory because it is so scary. Number 13. Commenter. The idea that we may continue existing forever in some sort of heaven or hell scares the shit out of me. I for one don't want to experience some everlasting stream of consciousness. When it's over, it's over. Eternity is too long of a time to exist, in any form. Person B. That when we die we are still conscious in our bodies, and if we are buried in a casket all we have to look at is blackness for the rest of eternity. Number 14. The collapse of the Higgs field. The basics of it is that gravity is a universal constant. As far as we know. It may be possible for what seems to be a constant to suddenly collapse, and gravity as we know it to cease to exist. Everything gravity affects would fly apart, including the Earth itself. Number 15. Humans share about 99% of their DNA with chimps. This 1% difference is what makes us so unique and accomplish so much. Building cities, technology, space exploration act. This 1% is all the difference. Chimps cannot even fathom how superior we are to them. So here's the scary part. What if there exists another species whose DNA is 1% different to ours in the same direction as we are to the chimps? Are we too stupid to understand their existence? Number 16. Commenter. The theory of strange matter is pretty scary. The idea is that it basically converts, wololo, anything it touches into itself. It's just a theory though. There could be planets out there entirely composed of strange matter. Say a chunk of that planet flew off as an asteroid. And then landed on Earth. We and everything would all be assimilated into strange matter. Person B. Yeah, but a planet made of strange matter would coexist with regular matter touching it. So if there was a strange matter planet, we would have already turned into strange matter, since it turns/converts everything into itself. So strange matter must either be exceedingly rare or not exist at all. Number 17. Singularity. Technology overtakes humans and humans become obsolete. Computers get faster and better at an exponential rate, and despite all claims to the contrary, this has held for quite a while. At the same time, systems we develop get more and more complex. You can see it on a small scale, especially if you're in software development. At one point, computers will be fast enough to emulate a brain in real time. Then they'll get faster. Then they will emulate a set of clever scientists and build better computers. Then they will get a lot faster. Then computers will do all the R&D and humans will be of limited use, and soon of no use as the computers get better and better robots. This is likely to happen in about 60 years. Number 18. In a universe from nothing, Lawrence Krauss posits that at some point in the future, around 2 trillion years from now, all galaxies will have receded away from each other such that it will appear to any civilization around at that time that they are completely alone in the universe. Effectively, the sky would be dark and there would be no way to know that there is anything out there except the blackness of empty space. Number 19. Box sand pile theory. When you keep piling sand on top of itself, it eventually gets so high that no matter what you do, no more sand will stick on top and it'll come crumbling down. This is a metaphor for society. No matter what we do, eventually when we get too high we collapse down on ourselves. Number 20. The Antimatter Symmetry theory. It suggests that the universe is not actually dominated by matter, but rather that only our portion of it is, and that there are regions of space dominated by antimatter. Most variants assume that matter and antimatter repel each other gravitationally, which is why the universe is expanding and not just a gamma-ray light show, but a rogue star ejected from its home galaxy could easily find its way into our own, probably missing the stars, but emitting enough gamma rays to kill everything within several light years just from collisions with asteroids. If one hit a star directly, it could wipe out an entire galaxy with no warning. It could have already happened in our own galaxy. If this is the case, we should be able to see emissions from intergalactic dust at the boundaries between the regions with gamma-ray telescopes that are already being planned. Make sure to share your personal story in the comments below and have the opportunity to be featured in a future video. Also, if you like these topics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to continue seeing more content like this every day. See you next time.